All right, guys. So I'm back. I'm gonna give you another video on the Cub Cadet ZT250. So I got about 13 hours on it. I'm gonna go ahead and change the oil. I took a look at the owner's manual for the Kawasaki engine. It actually recommends changing the oil every 100 hours. I only have 13 on it, but I noticed a lot of people like to change the oil the first time at about 10 hours. Obviously the engine's still breaking in, and you could have impurities and whatnot in the oil early on. So I want to go ahead and get them out of there. And I'm actually going to keep the oil filter on. I was taking a look at the oil filter, and they actually only recommend changing that every 200 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the stock filter on there for now. And I'll probably change my oil again at 50 hours. At that point, I'll go ahead and change the oil filter at that time. So the engine oil is back here. Again, this is where your dipstick is to check your oil. And then you have this little hose down here. It comes out the bottom. That's actually where we're gonna change the oil from. We'll have to get a wrench on that, open that up. And then again, there's the oil filter. I'm not gonna change that this time. I'll change that at 50 hours. So again, I only have 13 hours on the engine. I'm just gonna go ahead and change the oil for now. And I'm going with the Valvoline 10W30. It's conventional oil. Like I said, I'm gonna probably do my second oil change will probably be at 50 hours. And I'll go ahead and put synthetic in it at that time. I'm gonna stick with the conventional though for the next 40 hours or so. All right, try to set my camera up here so you guys can watch. Let's see what we have. Of course, this is not working very well. Let's try this. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my oil jug down here underneath it. And again, it's just this tube down here. Looks like it's a 1/2-inch bolt on mine here. So I'm gonna get a pair of channel locks on it, and then open up that bolt. See what we got here. Starting to loosen up. I'm gonna go ahead and get my oil jug under here and let out the oil. So the oil is draining out right now. It's definitely a pretty nice system. I like that, where you have this oil drain tube down here underneath it. Pretty easy to open it up and just catch the oil into your pan. Let that drain out. Open up the new oil. And then again, taking a look at the owner's manual, looks like it calls for 2.2 US quarts if you are changing the oil filter along with it. I'm not going to be changing the oil filter this time, like I said. So it looks like 1.9 quarts is what they call for when the oil filter is not removed. So again, not changing the oil filter this time. I'm gonna fill it up with 1.9 quarts of oil. Just got this new pretty cool little oil jug here, so try this out for the first time. Let that continue to drain. You can hear it still draining. And I'm also going to open up the dipstick cap, let it get a little air in there. Hopefully that'll help it drain a little better, a little quicker. All right, let's go back and check and see what we got. All right, so it looks like all the oil's out. I'm gonna go ahead and put the drain plug back in. Get my oil jug out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that plug up again real quick before we fill it back up with oil. Okay, got that nice and tight. Right. I think this thing said 1.9 quarts, so this holds, looks like 1 quart, so I'll do 1 quart first. All right, so we got a quart of oil. I'm gonna put the first quart in. Close that off. So that was the first quart of oil.
What?
Now it takes, it says it takes 0.9 quarts more to fill it up. Taking a video, buddy. My son just walked in here, so. How's it going, Ty?
I know you're talking to me.
No, I'm taking a video, bud, on how to change the oil on this. All right, so that's the first quart of oil is in. I'm gonna go ahead and just check the dipstick real quick. Hoping it pops up on the dipstick, but it probably will show up around the add line. which means it needs another quart. So that's kind of where I expect it to be, but I just want to make sure I don't overfill it. Let's go ahead and check it. And we are right at the add 1 quart line. So go ahead and add that extra 0.9 quarts. And then check it again. Make sure this is tight. This way. Alright, so we're looking for almost another quart here. That looks right about another quart, a little less. Okay, open this up. And add the rest of the oil. All right, guys, we got the full 1.9 quarts of oil in now. Go ahead and put a cap on this thing here. Wipe my hands off, take a new measurement. Make sure it's where we want it at. All right, guys, and dipstick is now in full. So I'll go ahead and put the dipstick back on, tighten that up. So that was the first oil change for the Cub Cadet ZT250. Very easy. We didn't change the oil filter. Again, we'll do that at a later time. But I got some fresh oil in it. 13 miles in to its life. That's some fresh oil. I'll run this till about 50 hours, so another 40 hours or so on this oil. And then when I change it again at the 50-hour mark, I'll go ahead and change the oil filter for the first time, and I'll change over to synthetic oil. So that's it, pretty easy. Again, just to show you, this is where you let the oil out down here. Just open up that drain plug. Make sure you tighten it up good when you put the oil back in. That's where you're gonna fill it at. That's your dipstick where you're gonna check the oil level. And then if you are changing the oil filter, it's right here next to the dipstick. And I can tell already that's gonna be a bit of a problem. It's gonna be hard to get a wrench in here and an oil filter wrench and open that up. And then on top of that, I'm sure you're gonna have oil dripping down when you move this, when you remove the oil filter. So you're probably gonna have to put some rags down here or something to catch the oil if you're changing the oil filter. This way you don't make a mess. But that's it. Talk to you guys later.